Welcome to FlexieCast, the future of work unleashed. FlexieCast is your go-to podcast for diving deep into the evolving world of work, where flexibility, innovation, and opportunities converge.
Hello, and everybody. Welcome back. This is our next episode of FlexieCast, the future of work unleashed. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to invite our first young Gen Z perspective here on the show. And this young gentleman is somebody that I truly love, and I mean that in every sense of the word. He's somebody that I truly respect. He's someone that I truly value. He actually has had me come on a podcast that he came up with the concept for. We've done multiple episodes that he's put out. I'm sure he'll speak to it and direct you to it. But we have Dumkele Idehen here. He is a second-year college student on a full ride. He will also introduce himself and let you know what all he's doing while he's doing what he's doing. And he's here to share his take on Gen Z's perspective as it relates to career preparation for now and into the future. And he's also got insights to help a lot of organizations understand how best to not only engage them, but to also recruit them. And in the ultimate thing that they want is to also retain them. So Dumkele, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. And I'm excited for this conversation. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Like he said, my name is Dumkele Idehen. I'm a Division I football player at Towson University. I'm in my second year, so I'm a sophomore. Towson is up in Maryland. I'm not from Maryland, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Shanko knows my story. It goes, all about, I was actually born in Nigeria, March 25th, 2004. Moved from Nigeria to Charlotte, North Carolina in 2008. So I moved from Nigeria when I was 4 years old with my siblings, my older brother and my younger sister, my dad and my mom. Those 5 of us, we moved from Nigeria to Charlotte. Lived in Charlotte about a year. I think I did preschool there, did kindergarten there, and then I grew up in Indiana, South Carolina, where I met this man right here, the legend himself, Mr. Shanko. Went to Indiana High School. I think Indiana was one of the very substantial moments in my life. I went there, lived there from first grade all the way up to senior high school, so about 9 years, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, like a long time. You know what I'm saying? Indiana, the crib, that's the home. So yeah, so from where I've been at, from Nigeria to Charlotte to Indiana, now I'm in Towson, Maryland, in the Baltimore County area. Man, it's just it's a journey, man. Like it's a journey that you just gotta trust God in the process. You just gotta keep going, keep putting your foot forward in every single step of your life, and you take it as it comes. And every time that you take it, you gotta push, and you gotta push, and you gotta push, because if each moment that you're in, it requires a new level of yourself, a new level of you becoming. Speaking of becoming, I'm also an author titled.
Tell them.
Yeah. I'm a published author. I published my first book when I was 18 years old, titled My Journey to Becoming. Published it December 29th, 2022. So that's been about 2 years. I'm a producer, music producer. I'm a musician. I play piano. I own a couple podcasts. Partner with me and my boys, man. You keep good company around you, y'all gonna do great things. Me and my man that we keep good company. My man, he got a clothing brand. We do a lot of different things, man. We're just trying to put our hands in dibble dabbling. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about Gen Z and the opportunities that we have to really make an impact in our world. But I feel like this world is free game. And you do with what you have, and what you have is what you do with it. Like you can put your hands in so many different things. You don't know which one's gonna pop off, which one's really gonna take off. So that's why we really try to be dexterous any way we can. Like we in clothing brands, we in podcasts, we play football. I'm in producing. I wrote a book. I'm in business, entrepreneurship. All that. It's like we really try to do the best that we can and make what we have. So by the time we're looking back at everything, it's like, wow, we really gave it all. That's what it's all about. Life is really about how much you can give. So yeah, we ready to see what we buy, chop it up about. Hopefully I can drop some gems on y'all. Y'all can really be impacted by the words that I speak. And we'll see. And Mr. Shanko, he's been real. Shout out Mr. Shanko, man. I'm not telling about y'all, man. Mr. Shanko, he really sees light in youth. And I remember when my first day meeting him, I was in middle school. He was actually a substitute teacher. Mr. Shanko, he didn't have to do what he did, but the reason that he came to the schools is because he really invests in young people Like he's been talking about young people since the day I met him. That's really his MO, to see how he can invest and put gems into young people. And the seeds that he put in me when I was in middle school, when I was 13, 14, the seeds that really come into fruition now. It's like the whole entire process of just putting seeds and seeing fruit. That's somebody that Mr. Shianko can attest to, man. Just seeing him grow, seeing his family, man. I got so much love for him and his family coming to his, you know what I'm saying? We celebrating his birthday with him, you know what I'm saying? Seeing his family and his friends, man. It's just really been a really enjoyable process and really enjoyable ride, just growing up with him, bro. Like, he's seen me develop, you know what I'm saying, from a young cat, 13, 14 years old. Now I'm 20, and we still on the same top time, just trying to grow and develop, you know, see how we can make the best of our lives. And man, I really appreciate, have love for him for that. So yeah, I'm here. Thank you for having me. It's another opportunity. This is just another little play that we have. Like, we've been doing this since 2019, 2020, just hopping up and trying to talk real rap. So yeah.
Dumkele, I really appreciate you, and I'm very thankful for you.
Sure.
There's a lot more that I want to say and I can say, but this is not about me going into that direction. I really would love these people to hear from you and your perspective, because you have a lot of nuanced perspectives on a lot of different things. You already shared the different things that you're already involved with. You're just now 20, early 20.
Yeah, I turned 20 on Monday, actually.
Oh man, it's even coming up, man. And that's the thing. You're still young 20, and you've already done and accomplished so much.
Mm-hmm.
You're also an accomplished author, and I'm proud to even say that I've not only read your book, but I've also helped to promote your book, because I do feel it's one of those tools that every young person should have in their toolbox, because of
Mm-hmm.
the many different things that you cover within that book. You definitely are an athlete on a full ride, which definitely cannot be understated. But for me, the thing for me is that you are a thinker. And most importantly, not only are you a thinker, you're also very much a doer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched you do things based on conversations that we've had, questions that you've come to me with. And I've watched you put these things into practice at a level where there are very few people that really take things, listen to them, process them, and then figure out the ways to make it practical to the point where they actually master it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for you, because you show me things, and I'm even learning from you as well. So don't feel like this is just a one-way street, or this thing is just one-sided, because it's not. I also benefit from knowing you. I also benefit from connecting and vibing with you, and from connecting and having these dialogues with you. So I'm also grateful for this, right? So just know that
Likewise.
Mr. Shanko has love for you, and my family considers you family as well, sir.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
Man, so now let's get into this thing, because one of the things that I would love for you to really share your perspective and insight on, and is simply just, what do you think about, just share a little bit about your experiences as a second year college student, right? Because you're obviously in college to prepare for your career and the things to come after you get out of college. So what are your thoughts around just your whole experience with college so far?
Man, what I like to tell people is college is free game and college is the playground. Like, college is the opportunity and the time period in your life where you try any and everything. Like, any and everything that your mind can conceive and your mind can put, like, okay, this could be, bro, that's the time to try it. Like, when that prime moment in your life, when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, like, you don't really got time to be dipping your hands and stuff when you got a wife and kid to worry about. Then the risk management is like, okay, this can't really be done because I got X, 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 X. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're in college, you know what I'm saying, your responsibilities are at a minimum. Like, yeah, you still have to go to class, and yeah, you still have responsibilities of being, a certain place at a certain time, but it's not heightened when you're in that later part of your life. So what I tell people, that passion that you have that keeps you up at night, bro, that's the time to try it. Like, really right now, I'm trying everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying everything. I'm dipping my hands in everything because I don't know which one's going to pop off. Because I really do have a passion for a lot of things. Like I mentioned, I have a passion for music. I've been playing piano since I was 10 years old. I'm a producer, and that's something that I love doing. That's something that I'm actively doing right now. I have a passion for orating. I have a passion for speaking, motivating people. That's why I put myself in the position to be able to start a podcast. That's why I really want on this podcast right now. You know what I'm saying? I have a passion for football. I'm a Division I athlete. You know what I'm saying? I just came back from practice about a couple hours ago because that's, you know what I'm saying? But just keep stacking, keep putting yourself in positions to be able to build and rebrand yourself. Don't stick to one thing. Like when I tell people in college, like don't go through college without getting experience. Go through college with just getting a degree. If the degree is the only thing you got at the college, you missed out. You know what I'm saying? Like don't go through college without, building relationships that could propel you to be successful in the latter part of your life. Like 25, 30, 35, 40, those are the times when you call your, college friends like, hey, I got this business idea. You know what I'm saying? Hey, remember that thing that I talked about in college? How's that going right now? Things like that. It's like if you go throughout college and you're missing out on the things that really, really, really matter, it's like, yo, you're not taking advantage of your situation. So my charge for people is right now, for me, I'm trying everything and try everything and do it where your heart goes, like where your passion is, where your heart is, there your treasure will be also. It's like where you put your heart at, and then where you put your passion at, and then when you put your investment in, then you will see a return. If you gotta be consistent with it though. Like, you gotta be consistent. Like one thing that I'll tell people also is like you can't just start something and have no intent of seeing it through, because that's just going to disappoint you and disappoint the people who thought they were going to see something too. Like if you say you want to start something, you gotta sit down and see, okay, how do I start this? You know what I'm saying? How can this be successful? What do I have right now? What are the resources that I have right now? Who can I call? Who can I text? Who can I, what I'm saying, reach out to and tell them, build upon ideas. Iron sharp as iron. Who do you know that is in the same field as you? Who do you know is in the same category as the thing that you're trying to conceive? It's okay. And like start building ideas. You got to be open to try new things. Like college has like bent me. Like I'm not the same person that I was when I graduated high school. I can assure you that. Like I don't think the same. I don't understand things the same. College has definitely shifted my mindset into the person that I am today. Definitely on my journey to becoming as I, you know what I'm saying? As I go throughout college every day, I'm learning something new. On every single day, I'm learning something new. So just be open-minded. Like as you go into that college, a period of your life, just be open-minded to try new things and to see a new version of yourself.
That's awesome. So
Yes, sir.
you've really shared a lot on what it is that you are doing and what it is that you're charging your peers that are going into college to do to leverage college and to make
Mhm.
college work for them essentially, which I absolutely love because those are conversations that we've had, and you obviously have taken the mantle and you're even passing the torch, so to speak. But I
Mhm.
really would like for you to please also speak to, just from a Gen Z perspective, what are some of the expectations for college education? And what do you think is its role in preparing you and your peers for whatever your desired careers are?
Mhm. I would say first, I'm in IT, and I would advise people to get into fields that anticipate growth in the coming years, because technology is something that's growing every day. That's why I chose the IT path, because I know that, okay, 5 years from now, college and technology is not going to look the same than when I got in. You know what I'm saying? Even when my dad being in tech as well, I'm sure my dad knows that when he started getting into tech, it don't look like tech right now. So I do charge people to go towards aspirations, but also be logical as well. Like, how does what I love doing correlate with what the world may look like in the coming years? And so just put two and two together. Like don't say, oh, I got a passion for music, but I'm gonna go into college and I'm gonna get a nursing degree. Like, how does that help you in any way? You know what I'm saying? Put two and two together. Like, be smart and like don't just go into college undecided. Like undecided, I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think is the craziest thing ever, because they're just taking your money and you don't know what you're doing with your life. That's a lose-lose situation. You know what I'm saying? You're getting your money lost. Like, they're taking your money. You're paying the class. It's not like you're not paying for classes. You're paying for a degree that you have no clue what's in, and you also don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So before you enter that college space, sit down with your parents, sit down with some advisors, sit down with your counselors, and see, okay, what are my passions? What do I long for in this life? And what are the degrees and what are the, spaces in which I could put myself in for that to be the most feasible and for me to get the most out of college, so I'm not wasting time. Like, college is all about efficiency. Like, you can be in college for 2-3 years. I know I have peers who are already getting ready to graduate. You know what I'm saying? You can college in 2-3 years, or you can drag it out. You can be there in 6, 7, 8. But you're the one paying money, so it's really like you want to be as efficient as possible. Like, how can I get in and get out and get the most of what I need to get so I can propel my life and shoot it forward?
Man, powerful stuff, man. So then, where I want to have you share some more of your feedback and some more of your perspectives are around your insights into the skills and the experiences students expect to gain from their college education, because you just spoke to how expensive it is and
Mhm.
all these other things that come with college in itself. But please speak to and just share some of your insights as it relates to the skills and the experiences the students expect to gain based on your own experience and the experience that you have with some of your peers.
Yeah, most definitely. I think college definitely puts you in the position to develop a nature of working within a regimen. Like, especially when you go into the workforce, there's going to be strict rules and standards that you have to abide by for you to capitalize on your success. This is due at this time, and if you don't turn it in at this time, there's a penalty. Like, that mindset is being instilled inside of you that I have to do this work, and I have to do it this way, and I have to do it this style by this time so I can see this result. And I feel like that is a good system. That's one of the things that I like about college, that it gets the systematic, procedures instilled inside of me. It's not just freelance. Like, college is not freelance. Like, there's a system and there's a regimen in place for you to follow. And I also feel like college equips people with the people skills. Like, equips people with the people skills. Like, you gotta relate with your professor. Like, you can't just be a name on a sheet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that I've pulled from college by just relating with my professors. So many procedures that I've been able to capitalize on, so many opportunities that I've been able to, grab, because I'm not only just being a student, but I'm being a person. Like, professors are people too, like they're human beings. So if you just, send an email, hey professor, how was your week? Hey, Easter just passed. Hey professor, happy Easter. You know what I'm saying? Building that relationship with your that's how I met Mr. Shanko. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't going through high school just being a student. I was seeing how the opportunities that I have in front of me and the space that I'm in, how can I get the most of it? We just having conversations about business. And I started finding a liking towards him. And I said, okay, I started asking him questions. And I said, eventually now, you know what I'm saying, I'm kicking it in his house. I'm kicking it in his living room. You know what I'm saying? Because I took that opportunity that I have to build that relationship with my professor, build that relationship with Mr. Yanko, my teacher, my business teacher, not just seeing him as my teacher, but seeing him as, a relationship, seeing him as another human being. And if you do that in college and you maximize the relationships that you have, like I said, it's a playground. Like, the best thing that you can do for yourself is being a human being and not just being a student. You know what I'm saying? The more you can be a human being, the more you can relate with other human beings. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best position that you could put yourself in to be able to capitalize on opportunities that you have in college. So I would say, like, the college teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you how to work within a regiment. It teaches you people skills. It teaches you communication skills. It teaches you how to be detail oriented. It teaches you how to be diligent, and it teaches you how to be organized. So yeah, those are things that I'm learning. I'm still learning now. Like, every day you're getting better and improving upon yesterday. Like, I'm still learning how to be a good student, still learning how to be a good human being, still learning how to communicate better, and the things that I want to say, make sure that I'm getting what I want to say across. So yeah.
So you're hitting on some really important things here, because communication is definitely critical, right? And it's included in the subset of things that are considered soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership is one of those skills overall, where even think something like communication is a part of leadership in terms of effective communication and being able to communicate effectively. You're also speaking to in terms of initiative, because most of the things that you're speaking to here, there is no class in college. There was no class in high school that taught you these things, were there? These are things that you're now speaking to from a place of taking ownership and initiative and being the one to actually pursue and make happen. We're not on this we're not having this conversation now because I'm the one who sat you down and educated you in a class setting about these things necessarily. It's also because you are the one who have chosen to reach out. You have chosen to be the one who reached out and asked questions and even asked that I sit down or share specific things with you and converse with you about specific things. So initiative is a major part of what I'm hearing here. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, most definitely.
Man. So initiative, communication, obviously there's the topic of leadership here. What other skills or experiences in terms of your peers? What are some of the ones that you've heard them say that they expect, but they may not necessarily even know how to go about finding or connecting with?
I'll say the one that just came to my mind is flexibility. No pun intended. Like, you just gotta be flexible. Like, you gotta be able to be malleable. Like, college, like I said, has changed me, and I feel like people coming to college with a fixed mindset of this is how it's gonna be. and then they get completely thrown off when their expectations are not met. Like you just got to be able to pivot quick, very quick. Like when things don't go your way and your circumstances don't look like you thought they were going to look like, you can't soak in that. You can't soak in that feeling of, okay, I thought this was going to be like this, or I thought my life is going to look like this, and I thought this class is going to be like this, and I thought my life is going to, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't sit around because you're not doing nothing for yourself. You're just sitting around and soaking in that feeling, and that's only going to make things worse because you're going to shift your mindset to a negative mindset where you're just marinating and you're feeling melancholy and you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed about yourself because your expectations weren't met. But a growth mindset allows you to say, okay, this isn't really what I thought it's going to be, but how can I shift my situation to what I think it's going to look like? You know what I'm saying? How can I pivot from what is right now to what could be? You know, how do I pivot from, okay, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be, but this is what I aspire towards. So what are the resources that I have? What is the mindset that I have? Like you said, what are the soft skills that I have that can propel me in the position where that is still a vision in front of me and that is still a possibility that I can get to. So I feel like flexibility is one of the most important ones, honestly, because you're gonna have to be malleable and you're gonna have to be able to change.
Interesting. So then I'm curious to hear you share this then. What is your perspective on the gap between the traditional college curriculum or curriculums and the demands of the modern workforce? Because things are changing in the workforce, which is something that I know you've also been paying attention to and even researching somewhat.
Mm-hmm. I say that's a tough one because back when my dad and my mom was in college, they were so fixed on get this degree and your life is going to be settled. I feel like as Gen Z and me right now, we have so many opportunities in front of us for things to be so much more. Like, I feel like we're more advantageous than the people before us because it could be one idea could be generational. And I feel like our parents didn't really have that opportunity to have generational opportunities. They may have generational ideas, and you know what I'm saying, the generation before us may have generational, you know what I'm saying, thought processes and things like that. But the opportunities that we have is so easy for things to go up and to go up in an exponential level, in fact, because of social media, because of the marketing strategies that we have, because of the relationships that we have, because of the tactics that we have via cell phone, internet, email, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. There's so many things in front of us that if we apply the things that we learn in college, we can then take the things that we learn in college, put it into the opportunities that we have before us, and then put two and two together and make it, you know what I'm saying, something that's magical. So I feel like that's the difference between traditional ways of schooling and schooling now. It's like there's just way more opportunities in front of us for things to be so much more.
Mm, wow. So you're speaking to you just you just spoke to a couple of things that, at least from what I'm hearing you speak to, in terms of your generation and your ability to take something that may seem like one idea and have it and expound on it in so many different ways to where you can take your access to technology essentially and maximize these things twofold, threefold,
Mhm.
fourfold, and multiple times, even 10x it basically.
Even for example, like this podcast that we're on now, I'm not sure that my dad had the opportunity. If my dad said, "Oh, I want to start a podcast," like, how are you gonna do a podcast? Like,
Mm.
how you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't really have no internet back then. Like, nah, okay, that's crazy. They didn't really have. That's crazy. They didn't really have social media. They have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that. Like these clips that we're putting right now, we could put it on TikTok. You don't know, it can get a million views tomorrow. Like my parents didn't have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? This FlexieCast is the first episode. It could be the first episode that could take off right now. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity like that, it's like my parents didn't have that. And we're growing up and going to school. They just thought, okay, get a degree, get a job, and I'm good for the rest of my life. I'm thinking, get a degree and use that degree. And I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, take it off with that. And I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, start something that could be generational, start something that can live beyond me. But that mindset, it was kind of, you know what I'm saying, restricted because of the opportunities that they did or didn't have back then. But versus what we have now, it expands our mind to think and to expect so much more.
Man, so I'm gonna stay here with you for a second because
Mm-hmm.
even as you're speaking about this podcast in particular,
Mm-hmm.
not only are you sharing that your parents didn't have the opportunity to get on a podcast like this, but you also have started your own, you've done your own, you've
Mm-hmm.
even had me speak with you or have conversation with you on one that you started. And I'm really curious, and I would love for you to please speak on the thing that you keep speaking to right now that you make sound so effortless. And that's your ability to take even this episode, let's say,
Hmm.
after we're done with it and possibly turn it into something that becomes a marketing tool in so many different variations. Can you please
Hmm.
speak a little bit more to that? Because I think that's an ability that Gen Z has that a
Hmm.
lot of people really need, number one.
Yeah.
And you're speaking to it from an effortless perspective where to you, it's nothing. To
Hmm.
you, it's very simple.
Yeah.
But there are companies and businesses that have budgets in place for stuff like this, and a lot of
Yeah.
them still don't even get it right.
Yeah, I think I'll put a name to it. I just call it the producer's mindset.
Mm,
Like somebody who has the fixed ability to create something out of nothing. And I
mm,
feel like that's something that has just been developed in me since I was a kid. Like I always trying to say, okay, what do I have right now, and how can I get more out of it? And I feel like that's an opportunity that people my age and people in my generation have so many opportunities for them to do. Like I said, we have so many platforms where we can take something that's so minute and maximize into something that's exponential. And I feel like, we're just blessed. We're blessed for real because there's not many people. And I feel like we're getting to that. We're the first of many. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? There's a lot of firsts in our generation, like, from brands to, styles of living to ways of thinking. There's a lot of things that weren't even thought of 100 years ago. So to be that first generation, to be, what I'm saying, the holders of many things that are generational, it's a blessing for real. And that's how you gotta look at it. You
mm,
can't have something in front of you. You can't have a gold, what I'm saying, a gold mine in front of you. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna do nothing with it. What? You're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have all this gold in front of you, all this capital in front of you, all these opportunities in front of you, if you're not to use it, you're walking past the blessing for real. And the next man's gonna see it, and the next man's definitely gonna do something with it. Me being the next man. Like if I, you know what I'm saying? If I saw something in front of me that could be something that's generational, I'll be foolish not to do it. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? I just feel like that's me, like being a producer, not just musically as in the terminology of a music producer, but just having a producer's mindset, somebody who can have the fixed ability to create something out of nothing. That's what I define as a producer. So just having a producer's mindset about everything. Like,
mm,
okay, even in the classroom, you know what I'm saying? How can I take this essay and make it into a better essay? How can I take this assignment that the teacher said, okay, fix this, and that, and so make it into a better essay? You know what I'm saying? Just continue to improve what you already have, continue to generate things from what you already have, and take pieces and take pieces and take pieces into a whole enormous piece. And it's like, okay, just continue to build, continue to build, continue to build, and continue to build. That's a producer's mindset for me. That's something that I've feel like I've developed. That's why it's so innate for me because I've taken time to really sit down and think. Like I really sit down. I really sit down sometimes and do nothing, and doing nothing is something like being intentional about not being intentional is doing something. So I feel like people are too jittery sometimes. Like I feel like our generation likes to move around too fast. Like they expect things to happen like instantaneously. There was just kind of like the fallback of having these opportunities. There's pros and cons to everything, but having these opportunities may have the fallacy that okay, if I do this, it's gonna blow up by tomorrow. Nah, bro, that's not the case. You gotta be consistent throughout. Consistent when it's good, consistent when it's bad. And that's another thing that I'm learning too. Like I just gotta be consistent. Consistency gotta be part of me. Like my name has to be consistency for things to be the way that I perceive it to be. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you also spoke a little bit ago about just Gen Z's interest in flexibility.
Hmm.
I now want to take us into more of that direction and not only focusing on flexibility, but also now I'm specifically going to ask you about your experience with Flexie, the platform itself, and
Hmm.
your own experiences with it from the perspective of how you've utilized Flexie. And if you
Hmm.
don't mind, just share with our listeners what your experience has been using the Flexie platform to find work opportunities and earn income during your breaks during from college and things like that when you're home.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Like Flexie, I've actually been keen to it for a while now. My sister and I actually pretty deep in the business itself, especially having this relationship with Mr. Shanko. My sister's been in their conference rooms with them. My sister's been part of the planning committee with them. So it's like things like that. It's like Flexi gives me the opportunity to be able to generate capital even when I don't have like we're in college. Like I know we don't have time over breaks to be starting to go on Indeed, start looking, filling out resumes, things like that. I feel like Flexie has the understanding of how Gen Z mindset works. Like, okay, look, I'm not trying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a whole employee. I'm trying to get in. Now, Flex is very efficient. I'm trying to get in, make some money, and get out. And through that experience, I'm trying to feel what it feels like to be an actual employee. And I feel like that's where Flexie is different from other brands and other companies because they understand the mindset of Gen Z. Like it's really built for Gen Z people because they understand that look, I'm not trying to sit here and sit down and be, you know what I'm saying, a company employee for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and try to build and generate capital through working through a totem pole and things like that. I worked like a few times with Flexie, 3, 4, 5 times with Flexie already. And every single time that I work with, it was very, 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 very efficient. Like, okay, this is what the time that we're gonna meet up. This is how long you're gonna be here, and this is how much you're gonna make. And I worked Chick-fil-A inspection center back in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Got to experience the Charlotte Hornets game while working too. So it's not just like you're out here slaving too. It's like, okay, like we about to watch the basketball game, you know, NBA game after we're done working. It's not like the environment is friendly. You know what I'm saying? The people, Mr. Shianko and everybody else, Emmanuel working with us, everybody is so friendly, everybody's so understanding, everybody's so flexible in itself. Not, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended. Again, it's like they have schedules for you to fit through, you know what I'm saying, your college schedule as well when you're back home and you're on break as well. For me, I play football, so I was only back home for a week. Even in the week that I was back home, I had 3, 4, 5 slots open for me to come work. And I came in, got that work in, got my, you know what I'm saying, got my payment, and I went about my way back to college. So I feel like, you know, just being flexible, like you said, especially the name, I feel like it's a very, 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 very good name for it because it just gives students the opportunity to be able to generate capital while they're still focusing on their own individual career and trying to be a student while trying to also make money on the side. So,
Man, that's dope. I appreciate you sharing that.
yes, sir.
And so now I would like for you to please discuss Flexie's platform and its role in connecting students, college students, or just students in general with
Hmm.
flexible opportunities, right? Because you just
Yeah.
spoke to a lot of that. I would like for you
Hmm.
to please expand a little bit more because even though you're using it now when you come home, the
Hmm.
overall mission and the goal is to make sure that it's something that you can also benefit from while you're also in college. So
Yeah.
can you please speak to that in terms of where Flexie is heading and just the opportunities that really lie ahead and how much more you all can benefit by having a platform like this?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Flexie's growing. Like Mr. Young, he just told me that y'all moving things to different states. It gives people the opportunity nationwide to be able to dibble and dabble and be dexterous in many different fields of work. Not only mostly in the fast food area, but also in the business area, also in the financial area. And I'm sure you guys are going to be reaching out to more and more companies now past retail. You know what I'm saying? Past food. You know, dipping and dabbling, and allow those skills like you talked about that you learn in the classroom to be able to be evident in the flexi jobs that you guys have. So I feel like our generation is so talented. Like we're so talented. We do so many different things. And we're not only limited to one demographic and one style of work, but we can move our hands and move into different things. And I feel like Flexi gives us the opportunity to showcase that. They give us the opportunity to put our hands in different areas of work. They give us the opportunity to put our hands in different fields of work. And I feel like just that it's just a blessing because we have so many different platforms to be able to showcase what's already inside of us. But we sometimes like, okay, how do I do that? You know what I'm saying? You kind of stuck. It's like, okay, I got this talent for this and I got this talent for that. But Flexi is a platform that allows us to showcase the different talents that we have and to showcase different skills that we have, the leadership skills, the people skills, the communication skills, and the platform for us to showcase those different skills to be able to not only generate capital, but build those relationships. Because there's people that I talk to at Flexi that I got their number. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in a relationship with them, and we're still texting, we're still calling, we're still checking up with each other, and you never know what that might propel for us in the future. Just things like that. That's why Flexi is one of the say top brands in the market right now. Top brands in the market for real because it's giving young people the opportunity to do so much more with a lot.
Hmm. Man. So now I want to get back to the college to career transition piece. And I thank you for everything you just expounded on here as it relates to Flexi specifically. But
Hmm.
now, in terms of exploration of the challenges that students face in transitioning from college to their desired careers, what are some of the things that you're picking up on? What are some of the things that you're hearing? What's some of the feedback that you're even getting from some of your peers?
Yeah. Most definitely I feel like I'm at that moment where people were kind of getting that shock with okay, this is real life right now. Like they're making that transition from, okay, I'm not just in high school and they say be here at this time and I'm turning in work for a grade. Now I'm the dictator of my own destiny. Like, okay, if I don't go to work, I'm gonna get fired. Like nobody's gonna tell me to force me to go up. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. It can be a tad bit stressful if you're not, you know what I'm saying, in the right position where you've already established a regimen, established, principles and established a system where I do this at this time. But I feel like just transitioning through college and transitioning through the school and education system propels you with the tools necessary for that just to be easy. You know what I'm saying? For that to be second nature. It's like, okay, if I get this job, they told me to be here at this time. I already know when I was in college to be here at this time. I've already done it. So why don't I have the ability to do it again? And so I feel like it's just maximized. Like you go from elementary school to middle school, y'all learning math, but it's math at a different level. You go from middle school to high school, y'all learning math, but it's math at a different level. Right now I'm in discrete mathematics, which is math with numbers and letters I've never seen before in my life. Like I wasn't looking at this in high school, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's still math. Math is math, but it's math at a different level. So in the same way, when you go from college into the workforce and you go from college into a career field, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same numbers. It's going to be the same letters. It's going to be the same emails. It's going to be the same people ahead of you telling you what to do. It's going to be the CEOs. You're going to have a boss. Boss is just like a teacher. Yeah, okay, turn this in at this time and do this, and I'll give you this. But you've already gone through that regimen, so you already know how it expects to be done, and you know the principles that you've already applied there for you to do it efficiently and to do it at a high level. So I feel like that's that, and you don't got to stress too much about it. I know it can be change can be hard for some people. Change is definitely hard for me because I'm a consistent person, and sometimes when things start looking inconsistent, it kind of throws me off. But I know in my inconsistency, I have principles that allow me to pivot easily. So okay, I turned inconsistency into consistency. It wasn't inconsistent at first, but now that I apply those principles, it becomes consistent for me. So yeah, I just feel like, transition can be scary sometimes, transition can be stressful, but if you just apply what you've learned throughout college into your workforce and your career force, then it shouldn't be too hard.
Got it, man. Great breakdown. So now, what are your perspectives on the role of internships, mentoring, and practical experiences in bridging the gap for any young person that's definitely interested in making sure they're doing the best they can do to prepare for college or even for careers?
Yeah, I feel like internships are very imperative, very crucial for success in the workforce because internships expose you to the style of work and the setting of work that you will be eventually exposed to later on, especially getting mentors and people who've already been through that process. So I feel like, I feel like mentorship and looking towards older knowledge, it just bridges the gap. It makes it easier because why are you going through the same thing that your father went through? Why are you going through the same thing that your older brother went through? Know what I'm saying? Y'all just wasting time. Like if he went through it, so you don't have to go through it. So I feel like reaching out to older people and reaching out to mentors and individuals who've already gone through the process that you're about to go through is very, very efficient and allows you to move through things at a faster pace and a more efficient pace and allows you to experience things and move through processes that, didn't necessarily have to go through. And you have an advantage because when you're moving through things, you're moving at a faster pace and dumb. It's like, oh, how'd you get there? Now I was asking questions. Like one thing about me, if I don't know, I'm gonna ask. Like if I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna ask until I get the answer that I'm looking for. And so that way I'm moving at a faster pace than people who've already, what I'm saying, gone through what I've gone through. But they didn't, what I'm saying? Somebody who asks questions and somebody who doesn't ask questions, the person who asks questions is gonna move at a faster pace, and that's inevitable. And so I feel like just getting internships, looking out, watching YouTube videos, like that's another advantage that we have that our parents didn't really have. Everything is on YouTube, every single thing, every single question that you have about school, every single question you have about life, search it up on Google, and I promise you can get an answer. Of course, you're gonna have to do a vetting process to see if this is, viable information or not. But you can go through YouTube and search, sit down and do research. You can find courses on YouTube for free. Okay, how do I get an internship? What are the specialized skills that I need in my career field? How can I be prominent in this field that I'm in? What are the things that I need to know before going to work for things like that? But like just search down, what I'm saying, sit down, search it up and ask questions. And I feel like internships and mentorships are ways that could allow you to be the most successful.
Hmm. All right, so now you have me, my wheels are spinning now because I've been doing more research in terms of just how to better engage and help and serve Gen
Mm-hmm.
Z and your demographic that's really entering the workforce. And one of the articles that I recently read, and someone else even posted something similar, if not the same, on LinkedIn recently
Yeah.
amongst an older demographic. And the whole it was the whole concept of the fact that Gen Z is right now the ones that are in the workforce before they even go to their peers or their supervisors or managers, they're going to technology, whether it's Google or even especially Chat GPT. and
Yep.
asking ChatGPT for advice that
Yeah.
normally in previous
They had to
times
ask. Yeah,
they
they
would ask
actually.
the actual human being or the
Yeah.
person that they work with. So
Yeah.
can you please share a little bit if you're aware, if you're not aware, or just even your thought process around that might be why Gen Z feels more inclined to go to technology
Yeah.
versus actual human being?
I feel like there's so many. It's a double-edged sword for real, because I feel like the one side you have the advantage of reaching out to something that has knowledge from different sources all over the world. Like ChatGPT, and the sources are pulled in from here, pulled from here, pulled from here, pulled from here, numbers, 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 data, data. You know what I'm saying? And that can get very technical, and that may give you the answer that you're looking for. But I feel like that's a double-edged sword, because on the other half, it's given from a robotic point of view, and it's not given from human intellect. It's not given from personal experiences, and not given from guidance as a human being. Because I could tell you that, okay, this is the most viable, you know what I'm saying, path, if this is the most viable resource, this is the most viable answer that you're looking for. But not everything's black and white. Like, life isn't black and white. There's a way that may look right, but based off perception and personal experience, I would say go this way. You know what I'm saying? That answer you can't get from ChatGPT. You can't get that from a robot. You can't get that from AI. There's some things that you can only get from human beings. They may be saying the same thing, but a human being may say it differently. That may end up and you being in another path. So I feel like it's just pros and cons to it. You just got to understand how to use technology, and I feel like our generation has been very dexterous in doing that. Like, I could probably there's kids that 10, 15, you know what I'm saying, years old, they have an iPhone already. Like, I didn't get my iPhone until I was 14, 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, now there's 9-year-olds with phones and knowing how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different world. Like, it's a different world that you got to keep in, but you got to keep up. You got to keep up if you want to really want to be, propelled in the right direction. You want to be ahead of the game. But ChatGPT, AI, it has its benefits. It definitely does. Like, I've been somebody that has been using it as well to get quick answers. Like, I'm not trying to, sit down, send a text, call somebody when I have an answer right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, there's sometimes, okay, I'm not really trying to use AI because they're going to give me a robotic answer, data and statistics. I want to talk to somebody's voice. You know what I'm saying? It's different. I want to build off somebody's mind. ChatGPT doesn't have a mind. They don't have emotions. They give strict answers. But if you want somebody who can give you answers based off of experience and wisdom, that's when you gotta lean towards the human side. Like, I'm not trying to look up ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying? ChatGPT doesn't tell you how to find friends. Like, what, the robot doesn't know how to find friends. You know what I'm saying? Like that. How do I build relationships in the workforce? Robot doesn't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking based off data and numbers, that's a more viable avenue to reach out to AI to see how to analyze statistics and things like that. And so it's just, you pick your poison, really.
So thank you for that. And now I want to help some of the older folks in terms of the older generation of folks that are in the workforce still who are having challenges with this. So
Mhm.
I would like for you to please share from your perspective and just based on your own opinion, really, why you think younger Gen Z employees, workers are more, well, let me phrase it this way. Why do they steer away from the older generation in the workforce and
Mm.
go to a chat GPT? Because I want to help them.
Yeah. I feel like you familiar with what you know. Like, you get comfortable with what you're comfortable with. Like, you can't really tell somebody who's been around technology the whole entire life not to use technology. Like, that's the way it is. Like, even in the school system, I remember back during COVID, I feel like this is where things skyrocketed during 2020, where
Mm,
everything was online. Like, you
mm,
know what I'm saying? If everything was online and now my life is based off things that are online, how you gonna tell me to, I'm saying, transition from something that was online? Now it's like, okay, and I stop using that. But
mm.
I feel like people have, like I said, it's about being flexible. Like, you can't just have a fixed mindset about everything. Who knows? Maybe technology is about to do a complete wipeout in 2050. Everything's gonna go back to paper. You never know. And if you do that, how you gonna say, okay, no, but I knew my whole life of technology. Now it's like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna be sit down and soak about it, or you gonna be able to pivot and maximize the area that you're in? Or maybe this technology run that we had was only for 150 years, and now everything's going back to, you know what I'm saying? Like this, like, think like that. Like, you got to be able to move around, got to be able to be flexible, got to be able to be malleable into the spot where it's like, okay, this may be the things that I've been familiar with my whole entire life, but I still leave that space in my mind for something that's different. And I feel like that's the mindset that our Gen Z needs to incorporate in their lives. Like, okay, this may be something that's, stable to me, something that's substantial, something that I knew my entire life, but I still have that space in my mind for something different.
Mm. So then help me help some folks here. because there's an obvious generational gap. There's a gap amongst the generations. So what is it that older generations can do currently to have Gen Z feel more or to be more interested in actually reaching out to them, or to come to them with questions based on some of the advice that they're looking up using technology? In what ways can the older generations help Gen Z feel more at ease, or even feel welcomed and wanting to actually come to them?
Yeah. And I feel like it's both sides of the spectrum with it. You know what I'm saying? Gen Z got to be able to kind of navigate away from technology as much. And the generation before us got to be able to move towards technology more, so we can move towards the happy medium and come towards something that we all like incorporated in together. I feel like, a way that we can do that, we can get the people before us back, on social media a little more. I know that even Mr. Shanko is a viable example of just being on social media to be able to connect with young people. I think he has a keen, very, very keen understanding of how to connect with young people, because he knows our situation. He understands our tactics. He knows how we live our life based off of how I grew up, and is able to use those tactics and use those opportunities to be able to reach us via social media. Like, there's so many things that Mr. Janko has done via social media and via like the opportunities that technology has given him to be able to reach young people. But those older people that he maybe peers with don't really see that, because they're so fixed on, nah, that's not how I grew up. That's not how things are done when I was a kid. But you're missing out on experiences that you have to relate with people, because you're not able to have that adjustable mindset that, okay, this may not have how I've been grew up, but this is the opportunity that lies in front of me right now. And this is what's hot right now. Like, honestly, technology is hot. Technology is on. Technology is definitely in a moving direction. It's definitely in an upward trajectory. So it would be I don't want to say ignorant, but you're leaving things on the table that could be picked up. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa for technology advocates like, Gen Z and people, who are coming after me. So, okay, like, I understand that I may need knowledge from people who are older than me. I may need knowledge from people who have gone before me. So I can't come to them on the technology boy straight off the rip. You know what I'm saying? I can't come to them talking about AI off the rip. Maybe I can pull their brains from things that they have more, experience on, things that they have more leverage on, and then and kind of incorporate technology into it and see how we can come to a happy medium and see how we can meet in the middle and things like that. So both sides have to be willing to be malleable, and both sides have to be willing to be adjustable and flexible, so we can, benefit for each other and meet each other in the middle.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate that. And we're right at the top of the hour, and I want to make sure I let you get back to your busy day and busy schedule, because you have a lot of different things that are going on.
Yes,
but I
sir.
really do appreciate you joining me on this show today, sir.
I appreciate you for having me, sir.
Absolutely. And I would love to, of course, follow up with you at some point soon, which I know we will. But I thank you for joining us on this episode and on this podcast, FlexieCast, The Future of Work
Yes, sir.
Unleashed. And I look forward to the many, many great things that you will continue to do, Dumkele, because it's what you've proven over time. You've proven to be one who is a constant learner, and one who is a constant doer, and one who is always going to keep pushing things forward, not just for yourself, but for those around you. And I'm grateful to know you, and I look forward to definitely staying in touch and catching up and watching all the great things that you actually do with this life of yours, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. My best regards to Flex and everything that, the business, I know this business is going in the right direction. It's going in the right direction very, very fast. So I'm just blessed to be a part of it. And I thank you for having me, and I really appreciate you. I hope that everything that, you anticipate for the business comes to pass, and that, Flexie, this is only the beginning like you said, it's episode one. This is episode one. And I feel like, the coming episode is going to be better than this one. So I really do appreciate you for letting me be a part of this process and letting me be part of the journey, for real.
Absolutely. I appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.
Have a great day, and we'll be in touch, sir.
Yes, sir. Stay blessed.
Likewise. Thank you.
Already.
All right.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode of FlexieCast. Join us again next month for another episode.